Hi guys, it's James here from Optics Warehouse, your night vision and hunting specialist, and today we're looking at sort of part 2, episode 2, whatever you want to call it, of looking at sort of middle range thermal weapon scopes and obviously what you gain from them from not spending the big bucks that you do with some of the other ones. So the big question today really as well, is the HIKMICRO Panther the most affordable and bang for your buck money thermal weapon scope on thermal laser rangefinding weapon scope on the market at the moment? I think, in my personal opinion, I think the answer is yes to that, basically because of the price and of course the image quality you get from both. What I have in front of me is the PH35L and the PH50L. So again, obviously emphasizing on that H range where it's the 384 sensor rather than the 640. And it's for there really just to add a sort of mid-level price for a thermal weapon scope with still high quality imagery inside and still a very, very efficient laser rangefinder built in as well. One thing I've always loved about the Panther is the size. I mean, it's such a nice compact piece of kit. It's not a big block with a big LRF on the side or anything like that. It's all inclusive, all integrated inside the chassis itself. It's a nice smooth system, really nice easy buttons to use, and runs off an 18650. I mean, what more could you really want, to be honest? The only downside I might say to it is it runs off a Picatinny system, because I mean you have to put Picatinny on your rifle, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the road. 95% of fox shooters are using a Picatinny rail on their rifle anyway, and of course a lot of airgun rat shooters, rabbit shooters are using them as well. So with obviously the H range, as I did obviously slightly say in the Stellar video as well, of course, just because you haven't got the best sensor doesn't mean you're not getting a good scope. What you are getting with these is a better base mag. And we've seen it with previous brands, obviously trying to do it obviously with their lesser sensors by increasing the base mag to obviously sort of justify where you're going to go in terms of your thermal weapon scope. So looking at the magnification on these, you've actually got a base mag of 3.1 times on the on the PH35 and 4.4 times on the PH50. So that's quite a lot of base mag that you're getting on the PH50. So it does narrow your field of view ever so slightly, but what it does mean, at that sort of base mag, you do get less pixelation distortion with a 384 sensor. So of course that does mean targets up to 150, 200 yards, you may not necessarily have to mag right up to 8 times, where it will distort the image ever so slightly, as it would with any sort of digital product, to be honest. Let's be honest across the board. Obviously 3.1 times mag on the 35, I'd say that's aimed more at sort of maybe your closer range shooting again. So if you want to go, because obviously you say that high base mag isn't quite there, it is there so to speak, but not as high as the 4.4. But obviously if you want to use it for more your close range, your rimfire, your ratting, all that sort of stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, both these Panther models in the H configuration, of course at 384, you are getting a nice high quality thermal laser rangefinding weapon scope. Of course the LRF has the capability to sort of clearly LRF up to sort of 800 yards. So I mean, you've got that capability as well. I mean though, to be honest with you, having used these sort of scopes, who's really sort of pinging out to that sort of distance, let's be honest. The maximum you're just going to sort of go out to is 200-300 yards, or off on the occasional just plus 300 yards, just to make sure you get it exactly where your target is. But obviously, looking between the two, physical appearances, obviously all you've got is the different objective on each one, but as I say, on the 50 compared to the 35. But I mean, as I say, as a sort of run-of-the-mill thermal laser rangefinder scope, just want to use it as a tool, don't want to spend too much money, I think, to be honest with you, these ones are going to be your best bet. Okay, so nighttime footage, as you can see, base mag of the PH35 is 3.1 and 4.4 on the PH50, quite evident between the two. What I have done is I left the reticle on the PH35 and turned it off the 50 for you. It's just, there you go, model is just moving his hands about, just about to start waving, and there you go. You can see on the left, I have pinged him at 67 meters, but it's quite obvious he's nearly twice the size with the PH50, just because of that really high base mag. But what it does do is, if you look at his trousers in particular, really does increase the depth. Move right out to sort of 150 meters, 160 meters out here. Just going through the color palettes quickly, just showing you again exactly what's going on. But again, you can quite clearly tell that you get that slightly better identification with the 50. If you look at the top at the back, you can see there's some young trees that are planted. They're quite easy to tell with the 50 rather than the 35. So the 35 might suit that sort of closer range target, but there you go, target just walking off. So there you go, that was the Panthers in the field. Obviously we elaborated a bit more on the H rather than the Q, just to show you obviously what sort of you get for your money in that sort of range. As I say, high quality value for money. You're really not going to go too wrong with these. And if you don't want to spend a huge amount, I think these are going to be your best option, if I'm completely honest with you. That was just really sort of a quick overview, just showing you through the H ranges. As always, guys, if you've got any questions, as always, please do leave a comment below or give us a call, send us an email. You know how to find us online. That's been a quick fire of the Panther PH50 range. I've been James, your night vision and hunting specialist, and this has been another video by Optics Warehouse.